In the beginning, God created the heavens and earth, as it states in Genesis 1:1. I need you to pay attention to these numbers. Genesis 1:1. As a lot of people keep seeing the sign 11:11. It is to bring his children back to this verse. In the first creation, God had already created man and female. He had already created every bird and every creeping thing. He had put everything in his creation to sustain life, and then he rested as he saw that it was good. And it was so. Genesis 2:4, I'm going to need you to remember these numbers for a reason. 2 and 4 equals 6. Genesis 2:4, it states, this is the history of the heavens and the earth when they were created in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. There's a few key things here I'm going to need you to pay attention to. You need to notice that the Lord God was a physical being. As he states, he planted a garden. The Creator creates with words in a spiritual manner, not in a physical manner. These differences in the two is just to bring you back, to allow you to read, understand that these two gods are not the same. One key thing that you'll need to notice in the beginning of this chapter, the Lord God's reign, it started in Genesis 2:4. The reason why it started in Genesis 2:4 is it represents the number 6, the sixth God, because he was created on the sixth day, as was all mankind, made with God's likeness in his image and given dominion over the earth. When the Lord God created man and woman, he used science. He caused a great sleep to come over the man, and he took a piece of the man's rib and made Eve. This is science. We call this today bioengineering, cloning, genome science. Now, taking Eve out of the rib of the man would make them share the same blood. So Eve and Adam should have never procreated and had any children. As I stated, God had already made man and female in the first creation. Another thing that you need to pay attention to is God our Father. When he created the heaven and the earth. When the Lord God created, he created the earth and the heavens. Two different creations, two different places. Now, when the Lord God created man, he created man to till the ground. That's slavery. That is what we consider work. That is what all of us do to this day to get money to take care of our households. That's slavery. That's why we do not feel free in the Lord's land. He only created man to till the ground, and he made the woman only to be his helper. These are slaves. That is not the God of love. That's the God of death. Now remember what he said after they got finished partaking in this fruit. The Lord God said, behold, the man has become like one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put out his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. This meant that he was now, like them, the God of death. And surely he will die partaking in their fruit. Jesus said, you will know them by their fruits. As he states, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Whoever by their fruits ye shall know them. Now, Jesus mentioned fruit for a reason. Another place that was mentioned fruit was in the beginning. In the beginning, when Eve bit the fruit. Jesus was allowing you to know that Lord God was not the righteous God. A righteous God would have never left the fruit up, because there was no way that a bad tree can produce good fruit. So the tree would have been cut down and tossed in the fire, as Jesus said. Now what did Lord God do? Lord God sent his creation into the garden to be tempted. Also need to ask yourself, where was Lord God at when they were being tempted? I believe that Lord God had transformed himself into the snake to tempt it, because he was nowhere to be found, but he came out afterwards. When the Lord God came out, he called upon Eve and Adam, saying, where art thou? While Adam and Eve was hiding from the Lord God, this should allow you to know that this God was physical. Who can hide from God? Some more key things that I'm going to need you to listen to, because you shall know a man by his fruits. All right. Adam and Eve was instructed to name their first child Abel. I need you to listen to that for a second. Abel. Bel is an ancient god of the Canaanites. He named his second son Cain, after the land Canaan. His first son after Bel, Abel after Bel, and he named his second son Cain after the land Canaan. Also, if you take Cain and Abel's name and put it together, it sounds out the name cannibal. These are his fruits, people. And Jesus said, you will know them by their fruits. Now, when the Creator, the Most High God, created man, he created mankind. This would mean kind of like a man, but more like God, because you was made in his likeness. Now, when the Lord God created man, he made it man to till the ground, to be his slave, to build up the earth, feed the world his story, and to write the Bible, which is by Bel. Two separate creations, two separate gods. One being the Most High, and one being a lowercase g God. This is the story of Lucifer, who is Bel, who is Satan, as he transforms himself into an angel of light.